Hi, my name's Danvers Baillieu. I'm a solicitor at Winston & Strawn and a co-founder of bootlaw.com. These are my 5 top tips on bootstrapping your legal budget. Number 1, keep it simple. This is probably the most important thing to do for the simple reason that complexity drives costs. What can you do to keep it simple? Well, stick to tried and tested business models and techniques. Don't try and do anything out of the ordinary. In particular, the limited company is a tried and tested device for operating a business, and it's very effective in the UK. So don't start off your business idea by thinking how many offshore companies you can incorporate and the millions of pounds in tax you're going to save before you've even earned a penny. If you want to do that, that's great, and I'm sure there are lawyers who will help you do that, but you'll be spending an awful lot of money to get there. Secondly, there's an awful lot you can do yourself. There are a lot of resources out there on the internet. Some of them are government resources, like the Business Link website, and then some are not necessarily free, but you can pay a small subscription, for example, for very good employment law advice and standard documents for things like your terms and conditions. If you invest a bit of time and energy in doing that work yourself, you can save hundreds, if not thousands of pounds in legal expenses. The third key point is to balance your legal risk with the costs, the legal cost. You can't eliminate risk altogether. If you're in business, you should accept a certain amount of risk, but you want to direct your legal budget to those areas of most risk. In our experience, IPR is one of those areas where you want to focus on because that can trip you up. So you want to spend a little bit of time and effort getting that right. And the second thing is to agree between the founders the economics of your startup and where the ownership lies. So a little bit of time invested in a slightly refined set of articles of association, or maybe even a shareholders agreement, might be appropriate at an early stage, would be money well spent. What we don't advocate is that you overdo it on the things where there really isn't any legal risk. For example, if it's just like 1 or 2 of you in a company, you don't need to spend thousands of pounds getting your service contract right. And equally, you don't need to spend an awful lot of time on terms and conditions if you're doing something that's very standard. So just be careful where you spend your money and try and analyse the amount of risk that you're taking. The fourth point is to avoid litigation at all costs, quite frankly. Lawyers love litigation for the simple reason it earns us an awful lot of money, and the only winners tend to be the lawyers when there's not a lot of money at stake. Legal fees for even a simple claim, for example, something like unfair dismissal, can easily reach 20 grand a pop, which is why most of those sort of claims settle at an early stage. We would say run away fast from litigation. You're taking a gamble, and it's going to cost you. So just don't do it. And finally, it may sound a bit flippant, but my 5th top tip would just be nice to your lawyers. And when I say that, it doesn't mean you have to buy us flowers or send us chocolates at Christmas, although that's obviously very nice. But it's about engaging with your professional advisors on a sort of human level and involving them, not necessarily involving them on a day-to-day level, but just talking to them from time to time, possibly over a beer or a cup of coffee, and tell them what you're up to. And there's a good reason for that, which is the more that I as a lawyer understand about your business, the more added value I can give you in spotting issues when they might arise just in the course of business, or maybe if you are seeking investment and having to give disclosure to your investor, there may be things that I can think of because I know about your business that you haven't thought about yourself. And the other thing is, with the professional advisors, we have, by just the nature of the business, we have a lot of clients, and the chances are your professional advisors are going to prioritise the work of the people who treat them in a human, respectful way, and not necessarily prioritise the work of people who just shout and scream at them. So those are my 5 top tips.